Hey, Carissa.
Hello to you both. Am I in heaven? Did I meet you guys in there?
Look like, oh my
Oh
God.
my gosh,
Yeah,
what a
this is
finale.
heaven. I'm leaving. Yeah, because I don't want to spend eternity in Four Seasons.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. So, Julia, Alex refusing surgery was like one of the most gut-wrenching and defiant decisions we've ever seen on this show. And I'm wondering, how did you approach that moment, knowing that she would rather die than give up on her son and lose one moment of time with him?
Yeah, I think after everything she goes through, when I read that, it made sense. It was just a no-brainer. I think the most Alex decision and choice that we've maybe seen thus far in the show. She has always done just what she wants and has followed her heart and her gut. And in this moment, yeah, she doesn't want to give up a single second where she's, taking care of her child and making sure that that child lives beyond her. And I think it's just so beautiful and selfless. And, she's still joshing around with Spencer while she while she lies on her deathbed. And um, it's so emotional and beautiful. And I think it was the right way for her to go if she was gonna go. Yeah.
And Brandon Spencer has fought wars, lions, ghosts of the family past, but in the finale, he finally faces Donald Whitfield. Um, and it's nice and quick. He asks for he asks for the one thing that he needs, which is justice for Alex, and then he shoots him between the eyes. Did it feel like it was justice for Alex, or did it feel like he's really got a long road to go?
I mean, yeah, emotionally, he has a very long road to go. I think that he ultimately blames himself for everything, and I think that he has for a long time, and he'll probably continue to do that. Um, he bears that burden, and I think that was his first move to sort of healing himself was, he blames Whitfield for sure, but that's just an extension of how he feels about himself ultimately. And I think it was just a reaction to feel vindicated and find some justice. And I think that he feels that, but there's a long road ahead of him and I don't think he ever recovers from that. I think that affects him for the rest of his life.
According to the pro post log, what's
Yeah,
it called? The thing at the end.
post log. Yeah, yeah,
Why
Oh,
why would I know words at this point, right?
yeah.
I don't either. It's okay.
Yeah. I've got a teleprompter right here. AI just tells me everything to say. So, yeah.
And Julia, when Alex and Spencer reunite on the train tracks, it was like chaotic and wild, and it's exactly what we love from this couple. And yet it was also their last moment where they had this connection with each other and this moment of joy. What was it like filming that final scene together?
Oh man, it's hard to put into words even now. That reunion scene was the first scene that Brandon and I shot together in season two. So it was our reunion as actors as well after having been separate. And yeah, I mean, it was like all the air was sucked out of the room. I think the crew and then me and Brandon both had, I mean, for Alex especially, Brandon got to have some fun fighting and things like that. But I was pretty drained, and I think we all really needed a win. And we needed for these two people to find each other again because their love is the backbone of their story. And it just felt like so natural. And it felt like no time had passed and everyone was able to kind of relax a little bit. So it was a really beautiful day.
And a beautiful scene. And Brandon, something that the Yellowstone fans have wanted to know for a long time is who was John Dutton's grandparents. And now we know that it was indeed Spencer and Alex. And does knowing that Beth Dutton has the fire of Alex inside of her kind of help that story in your mind?
Well, at this point, we still can't confirm 100%
Oh, come
certain.
on.
we in our hearts like
that John Dutton is the John Dutton. There's
You're
there's a
raining
lot
on
of
my
Johns,
parade.
a lot of Johns out there. Um, yeah, if she were to be a descendant, I would say that she for sure. I mean, some strong genes here in the Dutton and Alexandra lineage, really strong genetics. And they're both powerhouse people in their own right and have a tremendous amount of drive and conviction and force in them as human beings. And yeah, if it were to be passed down, I'd say that that's where it would come from, potentially. Yeah.
And my last question, if you could just both weigh in really quick. This love story was just incredible for television. And to be a part of this, I think it says a lot about who you two are together as well as the characters. And I'm wondering, talk about how did you feel about the final scene where you get to be together and kind of prove that this love story wasn't just a figment of our imaginations, but the real deal.
Yeah, yeah, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
Um, I was beside myself when I read that for the first time. And also anytime I read it and performing it and watching it, it's just we both, Brandon and I, cared so much from day one of meeting each other about this love story and about these characters. And I just feel like it's their perfect ending. They found each other and they were always, even though they kind of are like this odd pairing where it shouldn't make sense, it shouldn't work, it doesn't matter because they love each other so much that they find each other in the next life and the next life and the next life. And I think that's what the love story is all about.
Yeah. I mean, like Julie said, I mean, we both just care about it so much, and it's like it's in our bones. Like I still to this day I could sit here in this chair and think about like memories I have of being Spencer, and like I have an emotional response to them, like I have a very real emotional response to them. Because it just meant a lot, and the shooting, I remember shooting that scene in heaven, and it was like fucking like walking around in that tux and seeing her through the crowd, and it would just like fucking crush me every time because it's just like, wow, this is the weight of this entire journey. You know, and then the moment when they see each other and he's just in the most comfortable place he's ever been in ever because he's in heaven and there's no more stress and there's no more pain, there's no more worry, there's no more war, there's nothing. He's just like, hey, what's up? Um, and then she shoots him that look and says, what took you so long? And you're like, oh, it just like, oh, it just hits so hard. I just remember even in the moment filming it, every time we do that take and she'd hit me with that, I was just like, God damn, this is so good. This is just the most beautiful way I could have imagined it. And I remember it was like just Julia saying, I was like reading that script for the first time. I was just weeping just weeping reading that script. I just read that scene, the final scene where she's dying, and I'm like, oh, crying, and then I keep going, and it's like my brother never remarried, and then it's like, his old age robbed him of his memories, and then it lays his head, and then it goes into heaven. I was like, dude, you've got to be kidding me! This is insane. Like, give me a second here. How am I gonna do this? Yeah, he just did such a beautiful job concluding that story. I just thought it couldn't have been any better than it was, honestly.
Well, we were all right there beside you. Thank you so much for bringing it
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
Thank
thank you.
life. Bye bye.
you.